If you've served time in prison, what advice would you give to someone who is going to prison?
Experience 1. My experience is based on 2 years I spent in prison in the UK in 2004 to 2006, and thus may be out of date or not relevant to your locality, but here it is. After you arrive on the induction wing, the head screw will have some questions for you. One of them is there any reason you should not have to share a cell? Do yourself a favor and have a good reason ready. I have a cleft palate, so I claimed it made me snore so loudly that it was likely to either cause a fight or be unfair to my cellmate, and on that basis, I was in a single pad for my entire stay in prison. If you're the kind of person who will go insane without company, then by all means get padded up with someone, but who you share a cell with will be largely out of your control, so if you can live with your own company, then I'd recommend it. Take every chance you can to visit the library. Take out as many books as you can each time you do. This one is important. Keep your stuff out of sight. If you buy a jar of coffee from the canteen and leave it where people can see it, you'll have 10 people asking for some, and some of those 10 might turn nasty if you tell them no. If the jail offers education as an alternative to work, take it. The money you get for it is roughly the same, but in much better condition. Do this even if they have nothing to teach you. I have a software engineering degree and happily signed up for a maths class aimed at people who had never finished school. Behave like an absolute model prisoner for the first 2 months and immediately apply for enhanced status. This will let you get much better jobs, such as work in the kitchens, and as a perk, access to more and better food, and often let you move to parts of the prison with better facilities. Be polite to the screws, but not friendly with them. Even the ones that try to be friendly with you. You do not want other prisoners to have the perception that you're sucking up to the screws, but you equally don't want the screws you think you're belligerent or disrespectful. Most importantly, don't count the days. Don't think about your release date. Don't think about the outside. Just take it one day at a time. Don't act hard, even if you are. Don't act scared, even if you are. If you're struggling, tell one of the screws you want to talk to a listener. Listeners are other inmates who have been trained by the Samaritans to provide counseling to other inmates. For the most part, they're lifers or people doing decades who have earned their way up to this very privileged position, so they will absolutely relate to what you're feeling and treat anything you tell them as confidential unless you tell them you're going to kill yourself or somebody else. Lastly, just remember that things will get better and that one day all of this will be a memory that you get to post about on Reddit. Experience 2. Don't borrow, don't steal, don't get involved with drugs inside, don't join a prison gang, mind your own business. Set aside money now for your commissary when you go in, and don't tell anyone how much you have. Pay attention to where different groups congregate and don't get in their space. Use your time as productively as possible, work out, GED, college if possible. Get an inside job, kills time. Don't accept gifts. Keep you and your area clean. 5 years inside. Experience 3. Did 9 years and 8 months straight through, 2005 to 2015. 3 years of it on the West Coast, then the rest in Maryland. Very different politics, but here are some universals. Hygiene, clean cells, mind your business, don't gamble, don't do any drugs you can't pay for up front, and if you get tired, handle it at the moment. Those 6 things are key. Each state has different politics as far as mingling with other races. You'll want to figure that out pretty quickly. Shouldn't be difficult to look around and see. Take one leg out of your pants when taking a poop, especially if in a dorm. Always wear your shoes, and never go out into the public areas with your shower shoes on. Don't tell anyone anything that you wouldn't want every man in the prison to know. Everything comes out in the wash. Be respectful. Have common courtesy. Please and thank you don't go out the window in prison. You don't want to do anything that will cause you to stand out in any way. Don't be overly friendly to anyone. Not saying you need to go in and punch the first person you see, but don't be Mr. Nice Guy you're when you first hit the tier. Conversely, the guy that comes up to you when you first hit the tier, the one that's friendly, etc., that's not usually someone you'll want to make friends with. It's usually either someone looking to exploit you directly or someone who is trying to create perceived allies because they're low on the totem pole. You are who you walk with. If someone tries you, stand up for yourself immediately. Don't let it slide just because you want to do your time, because that's how you end up doing miserable time, and it'll likely be worse in the long run. Even if you get beat up, fine. Take it like a man and go about your business. Everyone sees you'll stand on business and your time will go much smoother. Think ahead. Doing a prison bid is like driving. Be defensive, watch the road, think for other people, and foresee problems before they happen. Get into a routine of self-improvement. Work out. Read. Learn a language. Get your GED if you don't have it. Come out better than you went in. Experience 4. The biggest thing you need to know is that you will be tired. You have to stand up for yourself. If you don't stand up for yourself, it will follow you through your whole bid. Do not associate with people in any kind of gang. They are worthless people who do worthless things. The first couple of weeks that you can go to the commissary/canteen, do not buy anything but hygiene products. Remember that you are always being watched. You are not ever being watched. It's not the guards or the cameras that are watching you, it's other inmates. Always be respectful. Say please and thank you. If you bump into someone, say excuse me. If you are ever disrespectful, you will have to pay the consequences. No one is your friend in prison. Above all, if you have family on the outside, do not give them a hard time. If they send you money and answer your calls, be very appreciative because they don't owe you anything. Experience 5. Depends on how bad a prison you go to. But I would recommend keeping good hygiene, making your bed every day, being very selective of who you associate yourself with, never going out of your cell without your shoes on, and always taking a poop with one foot out of your pants or pants off completely. Never use the store box. You'll know when you get there. Respect is everything in there, so respect everyone to some degree. Experience 6. I used to volunteer as a teacher in prison, and an older dude there who had been there for more than a decade said, "Don't think that you're invincible or got nothing to lose. Everyone has a lot to lose." I think about that all the time. Experience 7. Since so many comments got the biggies, here are some little ones, but sorry about them. When walking by, do not look in another person's house. Try to become a trustee, lots of perks and helps time pass. Find a hustle if you won't have money put on your books, drawing, cooking, teaching even. I know everyone's told you don't accept loans, but don't give them out either. A little weird one, but they could help. Sometimes the showers suck and blow coldish mist. Either buy a circular deodorant, the one with the ball, and rub the bottom on some bricks till it's gone, or take a little cardboard milk and roll it up. Pop it on the head and boom, you got some decently warm water. Oh, and you'll 99% be sharing your home unless in an open pod. Keep it clean. You have big problems if you don't. Most people keep their houses very clean. Mopping and sweeping every day, wiping everything down. Make sure to rotate on who does what. Good hygiene too is a must. The first thing you buy when you get in there is hygiene products, then everything else. If you have religion, get real into that crap. Join up with others, they'll probably be a group. Might keep you left alone. If you can't avoid a fight, protect your head. The go-to is to dump someone and their floors are hard. If you poop, every bloop that hits that stoop needs a courtesy flush. Experience 8. My husband was a federal prison guard until his retirement. He always says those who utilize the programs offered, whether education or learning a trade, did the best when they got out. Even those doing life who utilize these programs find a purpose and do better. He said the guards viewed those men differently. They saw them as someone who did something wrong but wasn't stuck in the muck, as he called it. Experience 9. Don't touch anything that doesn't belong to you. Don't go sit somewhere or with someone without being asked to. Mind your own business at all times, no matter what you see. Never talk with the bulls, guards, unless it's related to some process of the institution. That means no ratting or volunteering anything. Keep your hygiene impeccable. Don't accept anything, don't ask for anything. If somebody does something and the bulls give collective responsibility punishment, too bad. Don't let anybody take your crap, and definitely don't give your cornbread to anyone. Screw it. If you let them have your cornbread, you'll be ironing their drawers and clipping their toenails. Believe that. Experience 10. My dad and childhood friend both have done time. If there is anything that can make you a target, try to hide it or don't speak about it. Both my dad and friend were jumped multiple times, and my friend didn't survive. He had a Star of David tattoo over his heart and was a target for the Aryan Brotherhood. My dad was an older white guy in a prison run by the cartels, so was an easy pick, but thankfully it was only quick jumps. If your life is threatened, you can voluntarily check yourself into solitary. Oh, and if there's a dog training program, join it. Good luck. Experience 11. I've never been inside, but I am a former criminal defense attorney. Here's some advice I gave all my first-timers. 1. You won't get anything once you get processed, not true 100% of the time. So be ready to get a toothbrush and other hygiene items. 2. Relatedly figure out the commissary system and have your account already set up. 3. Prison calls are expensive. Like crazy expensive. I had a discounted account to take calls, but depending on your jurisdiction, figure out how their payment system works and have it ready to rock. 4. Get your ish together before you go in. Seriously. Car payments, rent, notifying your job, if you care, credit card payments, etc. These things don't stop when you're in. You do not want to get out and have a financial cluster waiting for you. 5. If you have a good lawyer, talk to them. I'm like a bartender. I had toothbrushes in my desk drawer so I could run down to the jail. If you were a dick to me during the court process, I'm going to hesitate to do you any favors. I've also relayed messages and made phone calls to people I liked. 6. Relatedly. Lots of us public defenders do the best we can with what we have. Lots of bad ones too. I like to think I did well by my clients, but when I show up to work on Monday and get handed a stack of 20 files and arraignments start in 15 minutes and I have to yell out people's names in the lobby to get 30 seconds with you before your appearance, that's just the way it is. What absolutely does not help is if you lie to your lawyer. Don't lie to us. I don't care if it's embarrassing, etc., but I can't help you if I don't know what exactly happened. We both look like assholes if I'm telling the prosecutor, you weren't even there, and he hands me a security video of you doing what you are accused of and you're wearing the same outfit in the video at court. This happened several times. Prosecutors and judges liked me because I was collaborative and a straight shooter, which resulted in better deals for my clients, but I need you to trust me. #humblebrag. 7. I'm finished, I promise. Sometimes jail is easier than probation. I'm 100% serious. If you know you are just going to reoffend after a small charge, take the jail time and gut it out. Lots of my clients pushed for probation and ended up reoffending, which causes further problems down the road. Not to mention probation is expensive. I know it's weird advice. One misdemeanor with probation violations turns into felony and prison time when you could have just done 6 months at county getting out, and 4, use the time to get clean and reassess things. It is a chance to change your environment if you take it. And speaking of additional violations, report to jail/prison when you are supposed to. Failure to appear turns into bench warrants, turns into no bail holds and additional charges. I am a lawyer. I am not your lawyer, and this is not legal advice.
We hope you enjoyed listening to today's stories. If you want to see more stories, check out these videos or check the links in the description for more videos. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And ring that notification bell.